Hey, hello everyone.
Hi, Al.
So we're continuing our painting session. Well, we're starting our painting session after building them. They have our minis have been primed already off screen, so we don't have to bore you with that. And would have been a pain in the ass to show on screen.
Yep. Literally watching paint dry, which you're about to do anyways. So, yeah.
Well, it wouldn't have helped as well to try to figure out how to stream priming.
Oh, I forgot my handle. I'm gonna set at the table.
Oh, here we go.
Thank you. So, if you remember my stream from last week, I mentioned that I was gonna paint all my Ultramarines, my Phobos team, one of each of the chapters or legions or whatever. And yeah, so I've primed them in white, red, yellow. 3 of them are going to basically be in black, and then the blues, greens, and grays I just primed in gray.
On my end, my palette scheme is going to be Optimus Prime from the Transformers, which means neon red and neon blue, well, fluo or fluorescent or neon, whatever, and some blue. So there is a few things. So the blue on the head for our main guy here, and their legs are going to be a different blue than the pants and probably the hands. So this is going to be the color for the neon blue or fluo blue, and this is going to be the final color for the Tau skin.
For me, I've decided to go with the Pro Acro custom range of one of my favorite YouTubers, Rogue Hobbies. So if you don't watch YouTubers and you're into this hobby, the fuck are you doing? Go watch the YouTubers. There's plenty of them out there. Great fucking advice every time, or almost every time. The ones I like to watch particularly are Squidmar, Ninjon, Rogue Hobbies, and a lesser known one called the Mini Witch. And I really enjoy all of them, as much as it is for lessons on how to paint to different talks about how to attack painting, because sometimes this can be a tiring hobby and you can suffer from burnout. So they often talk about stuff like that. This one here is Rogue Hobbies. She works out of Scotland. Used to work for Games Workshop, so she knows what she's talking about, and she released a custom range of 6 paints with Pro Acryl. So what Pro Acryl does is they reach out to a lot of these YouTubers and creators and whatnot, and build a custom color range with them according to that artist's painting habits. And what Rogue Hobbies decided she wanted to do was literally build a range that if you added black and white at the end, you could do the entire color run. And yeah, it works. And for what I'm doing here, she's got a primary color for all of my colored Ultramarines, so those are the ones I'm going to use. That said, my first one is a White Scars, so him I'm gonna base him in Corax, right? White. And then I'm also going to then top that out with Bold Titanium white from Pro Acro, which to me is the best white there is out there. But that's just my opinion. Please don't take it as fact. Go out there and try some out yourself.
you may want to refresh your Stream Manager page.
So I'm streaming on my side under Bearded Freak, and Neko is streaming on his side under
Nekozilla.
Alright.
And remember, folks, if you see another Nekozilla, he's not the OG.
So white is a particularly hard color to paint with. So that's why I like actually basing my white in usually Korax white from Games Workshop. A thin layer of Korax white at the bottom will really help any white that you put on top stand out. And the secret to Korax and why it works well with shadows and makes other whites stand out is Korax white is not actually a white, it's a gray. But if you can look at what I'm doing right now, you can't really tell that it's gray. It's just the slightest tinge of gray in the white. And it works great as a white base.
Meanwhile, as you can see, this will definitely need a second coat of red. So it's not that big of an issue. Since it is primed on white, that is why it is a little bit lighter than if you would be basing this on a black prime. But just to give you a look, so red on white, and this line here is red on gray. So I didn't quite like the look of the gray, so that's why I'm going on white. And that's what I did as well for the Vespids from the Hivestorm box.
Which we have yet to show them, by the way.
Nope.
We should really show off our work from that box.
We should at another time, because I do not have the Vespids with me. However, I do have a Discord set up, so we can at one point share that Discord.
Yeah, maybe we should put that link in the description. Oops.
Whoopsies.
Live and learn.
Yeah. Okay, there we go. Also, the McDonald's Minecraft sauce has come out.
Oh God.
It is fucking spicy.
Oh really?
Yep. It's based, so it's the, I don't remember what the actual name, but basically Minecraft has, so what's called you normally play in the overworld, and you have two other realms to explore. The first realm that you would explore after the overworld is the Nether, which is basically like a hellish landscape. So they're basically based the sauce on that.
And we're still talking about Minecraft here?
Yeah. Well, the Minecraft, McDonald's Minecraft sauce.
Because of the Minecraft movie?
Yep.
Okay. Is that out already?
Yeah.
God damn. Feels like that was like announced last week.
No.
Or probably last year.
Yeah, it was announced a while ago. But yeah, no, it came out yesterday, I think.
Okay, then. That's how informed I am. Look at that.
And it's competing with Disney's Snow White for the third, who's on its third weekend and still losing money apparently.
Yeah. That movie frustrates me on multiple levels. First of all, Peter Dinklage really fucked it up on that one. I'm sorry. He did.
Yeah.
Oh, you can't...
You can't have dwarves play dwarves. That's...
Meanwhile, every other dwarf actor out there is going, Motherfucker! Don't believe me? Start watching... Oh, fuck. What's his name? He's a stand-up comedian. Fuck, I went to go see him in Syracuse. Anyways.
Or one that would have been awesome as Doc would have been Warwick.
Right?
I mean, hell, Dinklage could have been fucking Grumpy.
Brad Williams. That's the guy I was thinking of. Like...
Yeah, Brad Williams.
You should see his interview on the subject. He has gripes with Dinklage as a result. He was like, I was negotiating my contract, and then you opened your big mouth and I lost the movie.
And then we saw Disney's Magical People, who got another backlash.
Okay, yeah, let's not even touch on that one. They fucked up. Everybody knows why. We don't really need to talk about that, do we?
What, the CGI dwarfs?
No, I was referring more to the casting, but yeah, let's do that too. Dear God, like every single play that they could fuck up in that movie, they fucked up. That they were trying to lose money. I'm not sure if the camera picks it up because it's a camera phone or a phone camera, whatever, you guys get it. But my white scar is slowly turning a very, very light gray. And then I'm going to dry brush more white on top of it. Why? To make sure I've got color depth, and primer should never ever really be the main color you see, it's absolutely okay to use it as a base, but put some color on top of it, for the love of God.
There we go. So first coat on this one done. Okay. Okay. That's gonna be a pain. Oh well, gotta do it. So these guys, so they have some armor on the legs, which is gonna be red, because we got some cloth right on behind it. That's gonna be the blue. Like I said, the helmet is gonna be blue. This shoulder pad is gonna be blue with a blue highlight here on the signal. The backpack, I'm not 100% sure yet. It's not going to be blue or red, that's for sure. But it will be painted to to look different.
It's Optimus Prime, right?
Yep.
What color is this trailer?
I believe it's gray.
There you go.
Yep.
Alright, so this is my fully Corax white, really gray, based Marine.
Oops. Pass it over here.
Side. Yeah.
Nice.
I want to let that dry, and then I'm going to dry brush bold titanium white on top of it.
So here's the missile turret.
Nice. Okay, yeah, that's definitely going to need another layer.
Oh yeah. It's definitely going to need at least another layer.
Yeah.
That paint, like I put in less water than last time, and it's still really fucking thin.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd try no watering it down at all.
Yeah. So I don't have much left in here, so.
Or maybe even try dry brushing it on top. But I'm not sure what result that would give.
Yeah, no, dry brushing it's gonna do the same thing, I think.
Yeah. All right. Yes, I'm one of those who puts the droplets of paint that I've got left back in the jar. Why do you use a dry palette? First of all, I don't use a palette at all. I use a squid.
Me too.
Yeah, you stole the idea from me.
No, I sent it. I saw it on YouTube and I sent it to you, and you said you already had it.
Fair enough. Sounds about right, honestly. Alright, so this guy here, he's going to be my blood angel. The primer is Mephiston Red. I've got some Mephiston Red that I've decanted into a squeeze bottle here. I'm not going to redo the entire body in Mephiston Red because it's an exact match, but you can see some parts that it didn't prime quite as well. I'm going to put in some Mephiston Red there, make sure that it's consistent all the way around, and then I'm going to use some bright red orange on top of that. And I'm honestly not even going to bother thinning it. Because I'm going to use so little of it. And only on spots that aren't overly visible. But beard, it appears lighter. Yep, and then it dries. So it's already drying there and it's starting to match exactly. So like I said, I just wanted a nice color match. Yeah, that's it. So this guy I'm gonna let dry as well. Now for my Imperial Fist. I'm debating whether or not to use Everlon Sunset as a base or literally just jump straight up to the Bismuth Yellow. I think I'm going to do the Bismuth Yellow since that primer, even though it's a little thin at some places, still did a pretty good job at covering. This yellow is almost fluorescent. It's going to be interesting. I'm not sure how it's going to turn out, but we'll see. We'll find out together. Water it down a bit. This might turn out well, like it might be a total disaster. Let's check it out. Wow, way too thin. Way too thin indeed. All right. See what's hanging onto the paintbrush right now is also already several times thicker than what I already had. So that pot just wasn't shaken properly. Whoever we hired to do this prep work needs to be fired real quick.
Wah, wah.
Oh wait, that was me. Can't hire good help these days.
So, quick go back to the whole Snow White thing.
Yeah.
Apparently, Rachel Zegler lost all. Disney shut down all of the press tour that was going to happen for her.
Well, I mean, shutting down the press tour was quite honestly probably an act of kindness at this point.
Well, that and they didn't want to bleed out even more money.
It's not the kid's fault. No. Listen, you are offered a role that might propel you into superstardom. At the very least, it's the highest paying role you've ever had in your career, in your very young career, and you're trying to make a name for yourself. You're not turning that down. I don't care what the reasons might be, you're not. So it's not on that kid.
No, for that part, no. For what she said...
What What did she say?
So she basically called the original Snow White outdated, called the prince a creep and weird and a stalker.
I mean, none of that is incorrect.
Well,
But go on.
technically, the prince only overhears her, goes check it out, and goes up to her and just try to say hello. Yes, not the best way to do it, but he's not a stalker, not in that sense.
It's also like several centuries before the concept of a stalker was a thing. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but like, you gotta remember when these are dated, folks.
Yeah, when the story is dated and everything. She also went out to state that they should just basically cut out her male counterpart, who was playing the prince, completely out of the movie.
At what point are you just admitting that you're not playing Snow White anymore?
And let's not also talk about the digs that she was doing at Gal Gadot. Openly.
Why are you attacking your castmates?
Because Gal Gadot is from Israel.
Say no more.
And instead of talking about the movie as well...
No, I said say no more. I know where this is going. This does not need to be on the...
It does not need... I'm not going to go into politics. I'm just stating that she used... Instead of talking about promoting the movie, she was using it for her own political agenda. At any point, at almost a few times, she started talking about stuff that that was not related to the movie.
Okay, so I'm all for people using their voice as a platform. I really, really am. Like, for example, Kaepernick and shit like that, I am fully on board. Take that knee. Say what you will. But say it intelligently. Hey, Cystic Crab is back.
Hey, welcome back. Through.
How you doing, bud? We are now painting our minis.
Yep.
Not bad at all. How about y'all? I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, same here. I'm doing pretty good as well.
Uneventful week, which, nice sometimes. And right now we are just basing our minis. If it looks god awful, it's because we're amateurs. And if it looks good, then thank you. Also, like I said, these are just our bases, so nowhere near the final product. He says that they already look better than any of his.
Oh. Thank you.
I decided to prime them in as close to the color as I could that I'm painting on top of them. So, like, here my Imperial Fist mine layer is primed in yellow. He got some cool stuff yesterday, including Gordrak, the Fist of Gork.
Nice.
So Age of Sigmar orcs, I want to say. Because, I recognize Gork. All day, every day. Nice.
Yeah, definitely not watering it down helps a lot. We'll need a few touch-ups here and there, but yeah. So the pauldron was watered down, but the rest not.
Yeah, the non-watered down. neon red for you, definitely works better.
Yeah.
That's what I found with my bismuth yellow here. If I thinned it, it looked like shit. If I don't thin it, it's passable, but I'm gonna need to add another layer on top, or 2 or 3. Frankly, should have probably primed this one in pink. Actually, that's a good tip for anybody out there who's having problems with using yellow as a primary color. Prime it or base it in pink before you actually paint your yellow on top. I know it's not what I did here, probably should have, but pink works fantastic under yellows. Pink or fuchsia. I can see my Imperial Fist here is going to need several layers of yellow. It's also going to be really fucking bright. So today I'm just basing all my guys in different colors and hoping to maybe go all the way to the black base for like the under armors and stuff, but I'm not expecting to get much past that. And if you're wondering, why does the yellow look like shit? Because it does. That first layer of a base of yellow always looks like shit. Always. Don't be discouraged. It's normal. Apparently somebody's reaching out. They can wait. Oh, and I got a better mount for my phone. That way I'm not going to give any of the viewers motion sickness anymore. I rewatched parts of that vid and oh my god.
There we go. Okay, there we go. So that's all of those that are on those. So these ones should hopefully be a little bit easier to reach or manipulate, I should say. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's get this guy. There we go, his arms done. Go.
I like how my mine layer,
Mm-hmm.
as you mentioned earlier, is laying out mines that are fluorescent yellow. It's like, hey, don't step here. Whatever you do, don't step here. Like, how cocky do you have to be to put your mines in bright yellow? Answer: Space Marine cocky. Imperial fist cocky. Absolutely convinced of your own superiority, yet nothing to prove it with. Kinda cocky.
There we go. Boom, boom.
Okay, my White Scar dude looked nice. My Blood Angel looked okay. My Imperial Fist looks like ass. Like absolute trash. That
Yeah.
looks like trash.
I mean, with yellow, you'd think you'd look like piss.
Oh, dude. Dude. Why?
Well, you're the one that's saying it looks like shit.
I got nothing.
The face palm he did, folks. The face palm he did is all worth it.
Neko here just likes to torment me. It's one of his passions. Which, I mean, can't really blame him. We all need those little things that bring us happiness. Just wish it didn't come at my expense!
I mean, if you didn't set yourself up so easily.
I'm just being nice because I got so many responses in my head, but I don't want to hurt your feelings.
If that's what keeps you, if that's what helps you sleep at night.
I mean, I could always bring up the hairline.
I mean, coming from you.
Hey, don't say it like that. I've only got a 5 head, that's all.
Yeah.
I just realized I didn't paint any of this mine in focus. Sorry, folks. Or Sorry, cystic crap. And if the yellow still looks like crap, don't worry. I've got a plan. A hint of a plan. Start of the plan. You're gonna see when it comes through, it's gonna be a great plan. No? Didn't get that one? Alright. In the plan we trust. Alright. This yellow's not getting any better until I've let it dry. So now we move over to the dry painting, or dry brushing portion of our painting. But first, I must go off screen for like a minute.
Fucking nooks and crannies on this shit. Now I get why some people prime and paint their minis before they fucking paint them, build them. I think that's what the Tao should. I think that's what people should be doing with these things. Yeah, look at that guy.
Yeah, these are starting to turn out really good.
Yeah, a lot better than the wash down paint.
Yeah, in fact, I'd say go back over.
Oh, I'll go back over the other ones for sure. You know what? Let's go over a drone right now.
Okay. Yes, Tab. I know.
So
You
that
want
way-
some attention. My dog is trying to get me off of this stream. Alright. So while that dries, I'm gonna go over to the Bold Titanium White to go on top of my White Scar Dude that I've already based in Corax White. So, Crab, you weren't here when I did that, but I like basing all my whites in Corax White because it appears to be a quote-unquote darker white. It's really a super, super light gray that if you use with other colors will always pass as white. I really like using it as bases for my white and then put this stuff on top of it. Bold Titanium White from Pro Acro. This, to me, is the best white that there is out there. Shaking the fuck out of it right now. And then I'm gonna dry brush it on top of my Corax White based White Scar. A little bit clogged. There we go.
Oh yeah, that's much better.
Now, normally you would thin out your paints, but since this is going to be a dry brush, I really don't suggest doing that because you're just adding more moisture that then you're going to need to dry brush out.
Comparison.
Oh, nice. And just for a look at the fixed up
drone.
One on the left is one coat, one on the right is two coats. See how just an extra coat will make stuff look a heck of a lot better?
And that second coat was not watered down, by the way. Because the paint that I'm using right now is the Pro Acrylic Fluorescent Red.
Yeah, we found that the fluorescent paints from Pro Acrylic, actually from just about every line that we found, the fluorescent paints are super thin. So, like, you can thin them down if you want, but it's not really necessary. What I'm doing right now here is I'm just putting a little bit of wet paint on my brush. I'm using my dry palette to get some off, and I'm just literally bringing my much bigger brush to try and give a dry layer of white. And honestly, I think I used the wrong brush. So let's go ahead and brush that off. Okay. So I think I'm going to use this one here instead. So I'm gonna add a little bit of moisture, take out the moisture on the paper towel, add a little bit of paint. That's a lot of paint, but that's alright. Take a little bit off on a paper towel. Use off the excess on a dry palette, which is just basically a texture palette, and then just go nuts. The idea here is that you're not going to want to have super wet paint. You're really just going to want it to cling on to the contrasts of what you're doing. Repeat, a little bit more wet paint, excess on paper towel, more excess on texture palette. Make sure you're not over painting, like for example, that was a bit too much paint, so wiping more off and then go nuts. Now this is gonna look really great because it's white on white right now. So you're not gonna see much of a contrast. It's just gonna basically serve to amplify the white and make the more inner parts that the dry brush isn't touching look darker because of the Corax and its contrast to the titanium white. But you can basically see how a contrast is developing in between the deeper white and the surface white. Then helmet, backpack, again more paint, wipe it off, dab it off, excess off, and then dry brush on. In typical dry brush, you're even going to be drier than what I'm using right now. But because I'm using this as a base, I don't want it to be overly dry. I still want a fair amount of paint to go on. So this is more like dry dabbing as opposed to dry brushing. But I'm not dabbing at all. I'm just spreading that all over around. And yeah, to me, that looks great. That looks like a nice white scar. Maybe a little bit more white on the pauldrons. So here's where I'm not even going to wipe that off, and I'm just going to slap that on. To really make the pauldrons and the helmet pop with that extra thick layer of dry brushing. There we go. That is my white scar based. Now let's go ahead and do the exact same thing on my Blood Angel, but he's going to be going in a much brighter color with the Pro Acro Orange Red. Mentioned this earlier, but I don't think you were on yet, Crab. But the colors that I'm using right now are from a YouTuber that I really enjoy, Rogue Hobbies. I like the stuff that she produces. She used to work for Games Workshop themselves and then went off on her own. She's one of several YouTubers I follow. I really like Rogue Hobbies, Ninjon, and Squidward. I also like a lesser known one called the Mini Witch. They all give different types of advice, different types of lessons. I also really like eBay miniature rescues. I think what that guy has to teach us is really, really good in the hobby as well. And occasionally Proacryl will get together with these streamers and whatnot and put together a line of paints that go in line with what they like to do. The one I really like, Rokabi's, she likes to do a lot of brighter colors. And the line that she put out, 6 colors with Proacryl, is super bright colors that, when mixed properly, you can actually become used to make the entire color spectrum. So super bright, saturated colors, and I really like what it does. So here we're gonna, it might look good, it might look like trash, we'll find out, but I'm gonna dry brush some really bright red on top of a Mephiston red base.
So I think your PC went to sleep.
I'm still streaming, it's fine.
No, just letting you know.
Alright. So you can kind of tell the contrast in reds with what I'm putting on right now. This might be a case of it's going to need 2 or 3 layers of red dry brushing for me to get the result that I'm really looking for. But I don't want to lose that Mephiston red base, that really deep red base that I have as my deepest colors. So dry brushing in this technique is, in my opinion, the best way to get everything to come together. And as you can tell, this isn't all that dry, to be honest. I could have went a lot drier than this. But yeah, simple as that. Simple, quick, easy, clear, bright red to use to pop on top of that deep red base. Simple as that. Now my blood angel looks brighter. Like I said, I'm actually going to probably do that 2 or 3 more times. But let's let that dry off. Let's try this exact same method with our Imperial Fist and that bismuth yellow that was giving me trouble earlier. Let's see if the plan pays off, because it's looking good on the other ones, so it might actually work. Load up the brush, take off the damp excess, dry brush a little bit on the dry palette, make sure you're getting all that excess off, and then you go after this guy. Getting a good result, just not the one I wanted on the first layer. So again, this is going to need multiple layers of this semi-dry brushing technique to get the end result that I want. It's still going to give me this really nice and bright yellow guy. Maybe even too bright for Imperial Fists. definitely too bright, but I don't give a shit. I like it. I like the cockiness of a team that bases itself off of planetary defense and fortification, but then also paints everything in bright colors, going, "Come at me, motherfucker." Aw, crab left.
Did he at least say bye?
No. I'm the only one in my room. Didn't notice when he left, so I could have just been talking to myself for a while.
Yeah, shit happens.
I am getting a much more consistent color with this method, so I still like it.
Oh, looks nice.
It's better than the first go.
Yeah.
Really fucking bright, though. Didn't think it was going to be that bright.
Meanwhile, as I was saying while you were off screen earlier,
Mm-hmm.
I now understand why some people paint before they build. So many nooks and crannies.
Yeah. But I like not painting before I build, because if the nooks and crannies are harder to get to, that means there's going to be more natural shadow in that nook and cranny, and therefore being harder to get to will reflect that. Realism, motherfucker.
No, realism would have that color in and then the natural shadow being affecting it.
Yeah, but you can assist it with shades, is what I'm saying. Maybe there's another color. That's fine. Alright, so now I'm gonna go over to my Death Watch guy. So I'm going to paint him in black, but Templar black. But Beard, what's the difference? Templar black is a contrast paint. That's what the difference is. Which means, to bring out the contrast levels underneath it, I'm actually going to dry brush him before I put on the black for him. So the reverse of what I just did for the last three guys. And this one is going to be true dry brush before I apply the Templar. So I'm going to use a much shorter bristles and much stiffer brush. Dip it in.
There we go.
Wipe off the excess. And now I'm going to keep on going until I barely have any left.
Okay.
About right. The idea is to catch the edges where the light is going to show more. Dude, we're streaming. The idea is to come from above. You almost want to do like, basically you're doing a zenithal. What I like for the blacks is you do that zenithal with like a blue or a gray, like I'm doing right now. If you're hearing some snoring, that's my dog. Alright, so that's basically what I want to do with the blue, but now I'm going to take it an extra layer on top of that, and I'm going to grab some of that Corax white that I used on the white scars, and I'm going to dry brush ever so slightly on top of that. Then we're gonna let that dry. Just a very little bit of Corax white. Sorry, so you guys can see. I'm going on my homemade texture palette here, and I'm making sure that there's barely any white left on my brush. Before I go on top of my mini here, my Warhammmer. The idea is to make, again, certain parts stand out more when we're going to apply that contrast paint on top. Right. Now my Black Templar is basically black and gray. That's good, that's what we want. Now I'm going to grab this contrast paint that I've decanted inside of a squeezer bottle and just add a very nice thin layer into it, and I'm even going to add extra contrast medium to it. 3 drops of Black Templar and just one basically dip of the paintbrush in Lamy and medium. Just so you guys can see what I'm doing. Basically just one dip of the brush. We're going to put it on the side there. Maybe another. Not picking up as much as I'd want. There we go, that's a good job. That's it. It's going to make the contrast paint a little bit more contrasty, a little bit more see-through, to allow to keep that layering that we have underneath. Basically, it's all about trying to give it color depth.
Not to be confused with pool depth.
What?
Color depth? Not to be confused with pool depth?
Oh, God damn. No, wait. I am an idiot. Alright. Okay. It's gonna be good. what you're seeing is a contrast paint, which is basically a see-through black paint being applied on top of the color layering we've already done with the dry brushing. And the blue paint underneath, or basically gray paint, is giving a little bit of depth to the black paint by making it appear not quite as dark on those regions. Now, as I've said before, I'm not sure if this is going to work out. I'm trying something new here, something that I've seen a few YouTubers try and do successfully, and I want to see if I can do it myself.
Because the only way you succeed is by trying.
Exactly.
And you fail the first time, you try again. Unless you die. Then that's a whole different story.
Depends. I mean, in the Helldivers, if you at first you fail, then dive again, and 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 again. Basically, doesn't matter how many times you fail, keep on trying. But so far, kind of digging the result. And if I want to make some parts just darker again, then I can go over that with Abaddon Black or just charcoal black from Pro Aggro. And it's going to be fun. I'm also still going to edge highlight later and stuff like that. So I cannot stress enough how much this is nothing but a base.
It's all about that base. All that base.
No treble. Which, I'm sorry, I totally disagree with. I'm a guitar player. It's all about the treble. About the treble, no bass.
Yeah, but we all know what that song was truly about.
I want to say sex.
Very close. The booty.
It's all about the booty, no booty. I honestly thought the Poultron would be more problematic. It is not. to go. What do you think? Decent color depth on the black.
Yep.
Alright, next one up is Iron Hands. And for him, I know it's both metallic and black, but I'm honestly not sure what the full color looks like. So I got to go on PC and do some research.
I think someone's gonna have to get banned.
Who wearing the what now?
Oh, I got a spam message.
Oh yeah, me too. Buddy, stop. Stop, bud. Ah. Okay. Yeah, it's getting around feeding time for the pets. That's one. I'll feed the pets. I'll be right back. I also need to go wash this out. Oh, shish. Alright, I'm back. So, looks like the iron hands are a very deep black. Not that the Death Watch isn't, but yeah, for the iron hands, I'm just going to grab some Abaddon black and do a thick dry brush on top of it. So, Abaddon black. Get rid of the excess. That's about the consistency I want. And now we go nuts. I'm actually going to give it a second go with all of that. Because this is super easy. Right, that guy's done. Easiest base job I've had today. Now I'm gonna have the next easiest base job I've had today. This is my Raven Guard. I'm gonna do the exact same thing I just did for the Iron Hands guy, but for the Raven Guard, I'm doing him in Corvus Black. Load up the paintbrush. If you're wondering what the difference between Abaddon Black and Corvus Black is, Corvus, just like Corax White, is really a really light gray. Corvus Black is a really dark gray. You know, Corvus Corax, Primarch of the Raven Guard. So yeah, it makes sense that Corax White and Corvus Black, Corvus Corax, are actually just slightly off shades of the color that they're supposed to be representing, which to me is really freaking cool. And how how Games Workshop planned out the colors, I mean.
Boom. Alrighty. I got this guy's leg.
Alright. More.
Got the crotch.
Really, I'm just looking to cover up the straight black primer here. And if some of that straight black primer remains in the harder to reach spot, the shadowy spots, then it's going to be a darker black than the Corvus black. And that all works out.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. My 3 blacks are done. Right on time for me to give the yellow another go. Because it still needs it, and so does the red. So exact same idea. Couple of drops. Pick up the paint. Wipe the excess. And go nuts. No. The yellow, which is going to take a bit more effort, because yellow always does. And you can see with that very nearly dry brushed 3rd layer, boom. Like overloaded dry brush, but there you go. That yellow looks great. Now let's try it with the landmines, which do need a little bit more attention.
And on my end, I'm about to start the last red guy. So far I'm looking over at what's dried, and it looks pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, like this guy here is pretty dry.
Nice.
Yeah. And look at that missile turret.
If you saw it earlier and you were looking at it now, miles ahead.
Yeah. What a second coat of non-diluted fluorescent paint can do.
Yeah, Vallejo are usually really good on their paints, but they're...
Well, this one's not Vallejo.
Oh, no, yeah, you're right.
That's yeah,
Pro Aqua.
Yeah. Still a very good looking color.
Yeah, just a little harder to work with as it is a fluorescent.
Yeah.
So this guy is going to be a dark angel, which means I need to actually base him in green. Gonna go with Caliban green, since that is the planet that the dark angels come from.
So my wife has been watching Gilmore Girls.
I know about that show and the fact that it exists. I know nothing about that show and the fact that I know nothing about the show.
Well, I've been watching it on and off because since she's watching it on TV and I'm just like doing other shit.
Mm-hmm.
And recently realized Sean Gunn's in it.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's hilarious. The character he plays is almost in every single episode. And every single episode he has a completely different job.
Sean Gunn as in Guardians of the Galaxy Sean Gunn?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Ah!
The character's name is Kirk.
Okay.
He is eccentric, which makes perfect sense.
It is Sean Gunn. I would be disappointed if it was not the case.
And yeah, basically in every episode, he does a completely different job, and it's never talked about.
Okay.
Like one episode, he is working in a shop and is basically like a shop teller doing transactions with whatnot. Just for an episode or a few episodes later, he's now working in a private security, home security company, and he installed a company into the main character's house without her knowledge.
That is.
With a note stating, since you are a beautiful old spinster, I've put in security so that way you are safe in your home. Unfortunately, the security system activates for no fucking reason because it's not properly set up.
Of course.
Which leads to the theory that the character is basically just getting fired almost every episode from whatever job he's doing.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, what other conclusion are you supposed to draw from that?
I don't know. But it's just hilarious. And also another actor that's in it, Melissa McCarthy.
Where do I know that name from?
She has done a lot of comedic roles in the last few years. For example,
The bigger girl, right?
yeah,
No. Okay.
yeah, a slightly bigger, yeah. For example, she was the main character in Happy Time Murderers, which is basically Muppets with the Muppets in a serious fashion, with like her being a cop in it, like a live action cop with Muppets around.
All right. Who in Hollywood was on the NASA trip and greenlit that fucker?
I don't know, but it is a very funny, hilarious movie, and it is worth a watch.
Happy Time Murders.
Yeah.
All right then. Is it actually the Muppets or is it just puppets?
Puppets, but it is the Jim. I think it is a Jim Henson company that, or at least his company made by one of his kids.
Okay. So this is the first guy of my 10 that I actually paint traditionally. And he's going to need 2 thin coats. One of the reasons I chose to make this painting scheme for these guys like this, where I've got a different color for each dude, was also to test my skills and test a couple of different things with a couple of different colors to see how it would turn out. I think it's important to do projects like that every once in a while that challenge your skills.
Meanwhile, I'm doing Optimus Prime color scheme because I did it on the Vespids, and the Vespids look pretty cool. And I thought it would look pretty cool on these guys too.
Hey man, there's no wrong way of painting minis. Okay, that's wrong. There's many wrong ways of painting minis. For example, whoever uses enamel paints needs to be shot. But, like, do what feels right for the way that you're building your mini, man.
Yeah. I mean, those Sailor Moon based Space Marines were pretty awesome.
Oh God. Alright, so earlier this week, Neko sent me a short of a guy who painted up a Space Marine crew to look like Sailor Moon and Sailor Mercury and Sailor Venus and Sailor Mars.
Well, all the Sailor Scouts.
And I gotta say, as ridiculous as it was, because they painted the Aquillas as like the sailor colors and painted the uniform or the Space Marine suits in white with accent colors being for each of the sailors. Motherfucker, it worked. It wasn't supposed to work, but it worked.
And they had the Japanese theme song playing it over it, which is even better because that would make an awesome show if you think about it.
I mean, I'd watch a show about Space Marine that become sailors in the Sailor Moon tradition. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah.
There are already Space Marines and you're giving them powers?
And transformation sequence? They're all playing Space Marines, and then they start having transformation.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Like, let's be real here. I'd watch this shit out of that.
Hey, Amazon, if you're listening to this, make it happen. Make it happen. You're already doing a 40K show. Make a side character. Make a side series.
On the flip side, Crunchyroll. Make a legally distinct knockoff. Let's go!
Unfortunately, Crunchyroll is not a don't make the shows.
Aw, they're just a streamer?
Yeah.
Okay. That's slightly disappointing. Hey, Crunchyroll, open a studio.
I mean, you could technically ask Netflix. They sponsor a lot of shows.
Yeah, but their track record is so hit and miss that I don't want to entrust them with anything 40K. I mean, you're just as likely to get a Castlevania. You're just as likely to get a live action Death Note as you are to get a Kick-Ass Castlevania series.
And that's why you don't go live action.
Correct. Guess what? If it was a anime or a manga, it should stay an anime or a manga. Don't make a live action out of it.
Oh, yeah, this will.
And if you must make a live action out of it, stop casting white people in the role of Asians.
Or at least make it make sense.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a huge fan of ScarJo. I think she's an amazing actress. She had no business being in Ghost in a Shell.
However, let's be honest, the character is technically a full cyborg.
So it could have been anything, but I mean, like, the source material, she wasn't American.
Oh, no, for sure.
And that's what I mean. It's like, honors the goddamn source material.
Yeah, in that sense, yeah.
If there's one thing I'm always going to defend Henry Cavill on is he was right to walk away. They weren't making The Witcher anymore.
Okay, so this might need a little bit more paint mixer.
Here you go.
Because that glue is very, very thin, and I did not add water to it, and I just shook that hand. Oh, keeping this away from the microphone so it doesn't get picked up as much.
For those wondering, he's using a vibrator as a paint mixer.
And for those wondering, it is not mine, which makes it even worse.
He's using a thermogun.
Yeah.
Or Theragun. Those muscle relaxer thingies.
Because it is a good paint shaker.
It really is.
There we go. So for those wondering, this is what it looks like.
It's not a vibrator.
Here you go. So you can show it to your crew.
Look, not a vibrator.
Okay, let's add a drop or two here.
Possibly a vibrator. Depending on the attachment.
Let's use that again. Yeah. This blue is super liquid.
They make thinning mediums for paint. They should make a thickening medium.
I mean, technically, we could just get some cornstarch.
Yeah, but then you fuck with the consistency of it.
But yeah, so back to the topic of casting, of being true to source material. Yeah, Death Note should not have been made by Americans, or cast American people.
Nope. Yeah. Stay true to your source material. Gandalf should not have been. Sorry. Geralt should not have been a secondary character in his own goddamn show. Snow White should have been. Let's not get into that one.
Let's just say that there's a reason why she's called Snow White.
And it very much has to do with the fairness of her skin.
Which apparently...
And fairness in the traditional way, not in the, like, in the Shakespearean manner. Not in the, oh, she's a better person. You know what I'm saying here.
Yeah. Oh, apparently they changed the reason as to why she's called Snow White as well in the movie.
Dear God.
Because she was born during a snowstorm. The face that he is giving me is hilarious and is exactly the face that you would expect someone to make when they hear that. And unfortunately, I am not joking about the reason as to how they got the name Snow White for the live-action version. I wish I was.
Listen, I am literally all for positive representation. I've got many colored people in my family, or people of color in my family. Sorry, I did not word that right originally. My kid is part of the LGBTQ community. I am very, very forward on a lot of stuff. But, like, come on. Like, I was even in favor of having a black actor do Ariel. For me, that made more sense.
Well, for the location that they were doing it, yes.
Exactly.
Caribbeans, I'm fine with that.
Exactly.
Mediterranean, if they would have stayed in the Mediterranean area or in the Northern Atlantic / in other words, Denmark, completely different story.
Yes, but Mediterranean could still, like, hey, the south coast of the Mediterranean is Africa, but...
Yes, but like, technically speaking, the Mediterranean area is not fully black.
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it's like, hey, if she's also supposed to be the daughter of Poseidon, she's not supposed to be white. She's supposed to be Greek.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
So like, that one I was all in favor of. But like, I'm sorry, Snow White is supposed to be German. In what, the 1400s, 1300s?
Something like that.
Yeah, German royalty was not Hispanic looking in the 1300s. Sorry, just wasn't.
That looks awesome. Definitely needs a second coat on the blue. But look at this turret.
Dude, looks nice.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I just realized I'm painting out of shot again. Okay, let's let that dry for a little bit. Wow, that yellow is bright. This one is supposed to be a salamander, and I'm doing it in bright green. So I use the Caliban green for my Dark Angel, and now I'm going to use the bright green for my salamander. Hey, Taz. Down, buddy. Down.
Yeah, just look at it strong.
Yeah.
Just that extra blue highlight on it, like for the.
Yeah, it still needs a second coat.
Oh yeah,
Shush!
because this. So the
Taz, quiet.
so the Vallejo Fluo Blue is very liquidy. So this one you do not need to thin, and you will definitely need more than one coat. Unless you're using it for different purposes.
I'm gonna finish off the Dark Angel before I go over to the Salamander. If you notice some parts that I'm not painting, it's because everything but the base armor will be the exact same color for all the members. So all the belts will be the same brown. All the gun holders will be the same leather brown. I'm going to be using Rhinox hide. All the under armor collector, like right here, will all be the same shade of black. All the skulls will be the same golden metallic. I'm going to be putting on the individual Legion markings on the Marines, but their equipment is all going to be common colors.
Because as much as they may be a mismatched group, they still need to coordinate.
It's more like the tech priests of Mars only make one type of gun, so it really doesn't matter what Legion you're in, you're getting that one type of gun. Oh look, we've got a knife that works super well. Everybody gets that one knife.
So what, they fight for the one knife?
Type of knife. Type of. Jackass.
You walked into it.
Oh, absolutely. I definitely did. Doesn't make you any less of a jackass, though. Jackass. And yes, I'm gonna go full Happy Gilmore on you. You're not gonna sink this putt, jackass.
Oh, speaking of Happy Gilmore,
I cannot wait for the second.
definitely going to be an interesting one.
Listen, it's been a while since we've had a true Adam Sandler goofball movie that was because he wanted to make something as opposed to he wanted to give his friends a paycheck.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to it. I do not like Adam Sandler paycheck movies. I love Adam Sandler serious movies. Because the guy's got some acting chops. He's just been kind of typecast into that SNL role that he kind of came out of. Which, to be fair, he milked until it was dry, so it's kind of his fault that he's been typecast in it. But he's a fantastic actor in the serious stuff.
And let's be also honest, there's a difference between Adam Sandler, the writer / director, versus Adam Sandler, the pure actor.
Yeah, when he's just an actor, like Uncut Gems, he was actor, producer, like he helped put the film together, but he wasn't the director and he wasn't the writer. He was the producer, and he was the main actor in it. He helped finance the movie, but he did not create it. He was an actor in it. And that turned out gold. It's kind of like Will Ferrell. I cannot stand Will Ferrell as a lead man. I adore him as a supporting actor.
But again, it depends on the movie, though.
Yeah, serious Will Ferrell roles? Fucking rock. Kid Will Ferrell roles? Fucking rock. You can tell he's truly passionate about making kids' movies.
Elf was a masterpiece.
Absolutely. One of the best Christmas movies ever. And anybody who says otherwise deserves the ass kicking that they get.
They are a heretic.
Quite apt, sir. Quite apt. God. This is so much different. Look at this. How much brighter it is.
Oh, that's nice.
So yeah, my salamanders are going to be nice and bright. Probably a little brighter than they should be. Thinking I might need to use that marine juice after all on these guys. Dull down all the colors just a little bit. Which, not a bad idea, the shade either.
Oh, yes, I'm liking this. Look at this guy.
Oh, nice. So yeah, this is the Tau group that my buddy's putting together. Nice.
Yeah. So again, definitely needs a second coat of blue.
Yep.
But as a paint scheme, this is nice.
Okay, this is a little too thin. Needs more paint. Yep. Spreads considerably better, but just half a drop more of paint in it. Still gonna need that second coat, but my God, did it spread better. I think that dry brushing the second coat on technique is going to work really well on this bright color.
Yeah, so more news about the Switch 2.
Okay.
Have you heard about the price that it's going to be?
Like $4.99 or something?
Oh, that's in America.
Oh, God.
In Canada, it's over $600.
Why?
Because apparently it's a newer-ish generation for Nintendo, so... But...
I heard about the game prices.
Oh, yeah, $20 higher than what they currently are.
Yep. Now, they better start having adjusted prices with age like every other fucking console out there. That's all I gotta say about that.
You know they won't.
Yep, I know.
Because I'm sorry, but Skyward Sword HD, which is a Wii game,
should not be $100.
Well, it's currently at $80, but
it shouldn't even be at $80.
Exactly, because it's a Wii game. It's not a Switch game. Same thing with Breath of the Wild, the first one. It came out on Wii U, and at the launch of the Switch. It should still not be at the current price it is.
Yep. You want to charge $100 for new games? Fine. Start adjusting the prices of your games for older ones. That's all.
Yeah. Which is weird, because until the Switch, they were doing that. They were doing like, this is an older game. Here it is at $30, like 2 or 3 years down the line. And they were selling.
They saw dollar signs, man. That's all it is.
Yeah. And they wonder why people pirate their games now.
Hey, listen, to all the game developers out there, if buying isn't owning, then pirating isn't stealing. If you tell us that we've got to adjust to no longer owning the games we play, we just buy the rights to play them, then, yeah, don't be surprised when people start pirating the shit out of your games. It's as simple as that.
But yeah, so some of the launch titles have already been stated.
Yeah, I know, like the next Zelda game is on it. So the next Metroid Prime game.
Well, Metroid Prime 4, there's going to be the Switch 1 version as well as the Switch 2 version.
I fucking hope so. They announced it like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I've been waiting, damn
it. But yeah, so technically there isn't a new Zelda out that's going to be out on launch. It is so it is going to be, again, Breath of the Wild 2. And apparently Wind Waker, which was a GameCube game.
Yeah, but say what you will about Wind Waker, that cell shading colors, art direction means that it aged incredibly well.
Yeah.
Let's be real about that.
Oh, it has aged well.
And it is one of the better Zelda games ever made. So I am fully on board with them releasing it as a tag-along to the other one. And it better be as a tag-along and not as a, hey, you can buy these individually.
No, it's individual.
Ah, son of a bitch. Not surprised, but yeah. Fucking Nintendo.
But the hilarious part is that they were showing supposedly like the difference between the two, like the original Wii, not Wii, original GameCube version and the Switch 2 version, one to the, next to the other. I'm
But-
sorry, but the game on GameCube was not as blurry as fuck as they make it out to be. They're just exploiting they're just trying to make it look better.
One thing that people underestimate the efficiency of is the blur effect that Nintendo took full advantage of on tube televisions. The pixels on tube televisions blurred into each other, and Nintendo took full advantage of that in their game design back in the 80s and 90s on the Nintendo and Super Nintendo. So when we switched over to, like, there's a reason why when we look at old video games now on plasma or LED or whatever type of TVs, flat screens we're running today, we're like, man, this looks like shit. I thought I remembered it looking a lot better when I was a kid. It did. It legitimately looked a lot better as a kid.
Yes. But I'm sorry, but GameCube was not.
GameCube was the very last console of taking advantage of that because GameCube came out right as the TV market was adjusting to flat screens.
Yes, but however, the blur effect that you're seeing in the side by side comparison.
Oh, it's not nearly as bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Is they're making it look deliberately look worse than it actually was in order to try and sell you the new game. I totally get that, and I'm not trying to deny that.
Yeah.
I'm just stating a factor that a lot of people don't tend to realize was a huge factor in making games look good back then, was taking advantage of that blur effect on tube televisions.
Yeah.
And it's why we straight up look at old games and go, they didn't look that bad when we were kids. No, they didn't. Without that blur effect, they look considerably worse.
Me a drink. Thank you.
You're welcome, child.
That damn cups really do like to stick to desks.
Use a coaster. How many times must I tell you?
You didn't give me one when you gave me the coffee. But like, it got so.
I'm not gonna kill
I
my
could
child.
move the entire
I'm not gonna kill my
desk.
child. I'm not gonna kill my child.
Okay. Oh, it's already 4:27.
You mean I missed 420?
Yeah.
Oh no. I swear the saturation on Rogue Hobby's color selection are as close as you can get to neon without actually being neon colors. Which was probably by design, knowing how carefully she plays with colors.
Yeah, this is gonna be my last guy. Still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left to do. I'll do them next time.
Right.
Oh my God!
Okay. Okay. There we go. All right. So far, I have the 2 drones that have the base of red and 1 coat of blue. Oops. That's gonna wash out. I got missile turret with a coat with the red and the blue. And I got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys with the red and the blue. So next time I will finish these 5 guys over here. Give them their first coat of blue. Then probably do a second coat of blue. And then probably start doing a coat of Calgar blue for their feet and this guy's head. On that note, have a good one, everyone. I am signing out.